Can you remember vividly where you were 2016?
The grand final?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you?
Oh,
I'll try and find the photo.
I think
Were you there?
The correct phrase you used was good. Can you remember?
Yeah. Oh, mate, I was there. So I don't want to get, I won't get emotional, but so it was an emotional time.
Yeah.
Like, so my dad got diagnosed with cancer probably maybe 4 weeks before.
Yep.
Or maybe, no, 7 weeks before.
Yep.
Or nearly, yeah. So, and then the build up. So my old man, me and him, mad doggies, right?
Yeah.
All my life, actually, he'd hate me saying this. He was actually Richmond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I shared the story with the business, but Dad he dabbled in some player management, and he managed a player by the name of Paul Hudson. I don't know if that name rings a bell. So the son of Peter Hudson, who's the all-time AFL
150
goal kicker. So he played for the Hawthorn, and then he went to the Dogs, and he was one of those players that did these sportsman's nights and built a good relationship with Dad. And he's like, oh, I love you. You know, you love what you're doing. Why don't you be my manager? My dad's like, oh, I'll be a manager. So then I would have only been like 3 or 4. And then all of a sudden, my dad's Richmond, but, you know, he's following Hutto because he's playing for the Dogs.
Yep.
I'm going in the rooms with Hutto, and we're, you know, all of a sudden I'm Dogs obsessed.
That's gross.
Number 9 on my back, that's the number he wore. And then and then he got traded to Richmond. So, and I've never openly admitted this, ever. But I was a Richmond supporter for a year.
This is an exclusive.
Oh,
I haven't heard
Jesus.
this. I have not heard this ever.
No. So,
Just to follow him.
I've got to be on the same story as you here. I was Melbourne before I went Geelong.
Oh,
And
for
I
how
was,
long?
and I was Bulldogs before I went Saints. So.
And I have always been one of my Collingwood. Shame on you guys. Shame on
I was
you.
going to say, it feels like I'm at Sunday convention.
Shame on you.
But yeah, and to the point where I went to my school footy day at primary school
In Richmond.
in Richmond, which is a disgrace.
You have photos?
I don't think I have a photo, but I remember I walked around the parade with the blow-up tiger.
This is an Up the Guts
But
exclusive.
Tiger.
No, but I have to say, like, I remember the day he got traded to Richmond and I cried. I was pretty gutted that he went to the Tigers. So basically, cutting a long story short, Dad was crook in hospital. The build up, I think the prelim was more special than the granny.
Yeah.
Because we were actually just talking about it.
Great game.
I hate the Saints. No offense. I even worked at the Saints for 3 years. But I hated them because they would beat us in these prelims in like 08, 09. And so we finally make a granny, and then my dad didn't get to come to the granny. He was he was in hospital, really sick. And then my mum, I didn't want to go to the game. And then Terry Wallace, who actually coached Hutto at the Dogs for those few years, Terry Wallace came in, saw Dad with Hutto, and Terry basically said, "You have to go to the game. And your dad wants you to go. Here are 2 tickets. Hutchie has given me the tickets. You're going." And I didn't want to go. I was like, "No, if Dad can't go, I don't want to go." And then Dad was like, "Please go." So me and Mum went. It was the most emotional day. Ridiculous. I've got a really great photo. I'll show you boys off there. Yeah. And my dad died next day, 2 days later.
Oh.
So he saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sorry to hear.
I often say to people, grand final finished, I didn't celebrate. I went back to the hospital and just sat there. So it didn't get to enjoy it.
Soak it in, yeah.
But still, can't believe they won it. Pretty nuts.